Hey, this is Landon with Prestige Custom Builders coming to you from our Fireside Chats talking about the construction phase. The construction phase of a custom home is different from a spec home or any other type of phase just for the fact of you've got the customer involved the entire process. We like to do projects where the customer wants to be involved in the project on a day-to-day basis, whether it be picking out tiles or paint colors or whatever the case may be, but it goes all the way back to the design phase of it, where we can go through there and lay out the house on a blueprint and then turning that blueprint into real life. That's my job, is to turn it into real life, but during that process, we like to have the customer involved in it to make sure that there's changes or if there's things that they would like to add or do differently than maybe what was on the plan, we're able to do that. And having the customer involved in that really allows us to make sure we tailor this house to their personal needs. When it comes to the quality and attention to detail of the house, that's something that we really take a lot of pride in, making sure that we're in those houses on a daily basis if we can, making sure we're going through, doing videos, taking pictures, making sure the clients are kept up to speed on where we are on the project. That helps us make sure that we get every aspect of this build in. Some of the clients are, whether it be local or whether they be in different states, we want to make sure that we're able to keep them in the loop on what's going on. Being in the house on a daily basis allows me to go through there and make sure that we get all the fine details ironed out before we start covering anything up or before we move on to the next stage of construction. Then it goes back to working with the same people over and over and over on every job. Those guys know what to expect from me, and I know what to expect from them. When it comes to the budgetary things on the house, we like to set that forth at the very early stages, and then making sure that I understand what the customer is trying to achieve. Making sure if budget is a hard number, then we need to make sure that we stay inside that number. When we go through, you get a detailed layout of the entire budget of the project. So you know what that is well ahead of time. And then we work with our suppliers and making sure that they understand what budgets we need to work within, making sure they don't try to get you way over budget, or making sure that you're able to use your entire budget if you'd like to. But more than anything is making sure that you understand what those budgetary numbers are so that you know when you're buying things where we're at. Biggest challenges that we face down on the Texas Gulf Coast is going to be weather. Whenever we have really cold snaps like we've had this winter, or whether it be hurricane season or very rainy months, it really puts a challenge on making sure that we have everything on a good schedule. One of the things we really strive to do early on in the house is making sure we get the house dried in. Extremely important for me because we keep the weather off of all the wood, but it also allows all the trades to continue to work during that process, and making sure they have a dry place to be able to come to work that day. During the construction process, we do stay in communication with the client in multiple different ways. Try to do a weekly phone call, or at least bi-weekly, making sure that the customer is staying in the loop on what's going on in the project. We take pictures throughout the process, making sure that not only for them, but also for me to go back and reference whenever we need to, whether videos, Zoom calls. But one of the things we do is a drone video from the start of the project all the way to the very end. I think this is something that kind of sets us apart, something that we turn over to the homeowner when we're done, so they can go back in 5-10 years, reflect back on the whole entire process, and hopefully still enjoy the process.